the recent trend in India, or the policy of the governments, is to you take agricultural land over and give it to industry for industrial development. Now, in itself, that doesn't seem to be bad, but everywhere this is happening, there are two or three things which affect our members. One is that the number of jobs being created are much lower than the number of jobs that are being taken away. The second is that agricultural workers as such, because they are not owners of land, are not being given any compensation. It's only the landowners who are being thought of as being given compensation and all. And the third thing is that there is a lot of force and a lot of sort of undemocratic means being used to take away this land. Now, the West Bengal government is a left government, and it's been in power for 30 years. And it is, though there was at one time the tendency for land reform, of land redistribution in West Bengal, this whole trend is now being reversed. And the West Bengal government has been welcoming industrialization and capital at any cost, and at the cost of workers' rights also. So the latest in this is that we've just finished our elections, and before the elections, this thing was an election issue. But after the elections, and when they won the elections again this time, they decided to go forward with this particular policy in full sort of steam. And the first thing that they did was that the Tatas, which are a big industrial concern, one of the biggest Indian capitalists and now turning into a transnational corporation, they came and they signed a contract with the government for a small car factory to be set up. And the factory is being set up in prime agricultural land. This land has 3 or 4 crops in a year. And there are a number of people who own the land who don't farm it. So the actual people who farm the land are tenants or small farmers who take the land on lease from owners. So when they're taking over the land, they're not thinking about the actual tillers of the land, or the people who are actually cultivating the land, and the agricultural workers there. They're basically going into contracts with some of the landowners and saying that we've got the land from them. And this whole thing has become a very important issue in West Bengal. And we've had a very sort of, the last 6 or 8 months, there's been a big struggle on it. And the last thing that took place was that on the 25th of September, there was a police attack on the farmers and the workers who had sort of surrounded the block office, the local administrative office. And they were on a sit-down strike there, along with the leader of the opposition. She was also there, the party leader for the opposition party. And there was a police attack on this demonstration. And in this attack, I mean, we sent an investigative team later into this area, and our investigative team was told that lights were put off at midnight, and the police just went on rampage. And there was one boy who died also. And there's actually been very little press coverage of this also, because the press also seems to be keeping quiet about the whole thing. So one person has died, 3 people are missing, and almost 70 people were injured. And of course many were jailed, and then later on they were left on bail. So the struggle is continuing. On the 9th of October, there was a Bengal-wide Bandh called on this, a closure strike, a total strike in the entire state. And as far as PDKMS is concerned, we are continuing with supporting this struggle, because we feel if the workers there and the farmers there lose out, the small farmers and the workers there lose out, the next attack is going to be on areas where we ourselves work, where our members are. There's a port coming up in one area, which is called Kulpi, which we have sort of stopped for many years now. But there's another plan for that, and there's the Salim group from Indonesia involved in it, who are very discredited as owners, as employers in Indonesia itself. And there's another place where there's a nuclear reactor coming up, which has environmental consequences also, on a port area near the sea. So this entire, if we feel that if we lose out in Singur, which is this place where the struggle is taking place now, these other 2 things will become very easy for the government to do also, and therefore our members will be directly affected. So we're supporting this struggle from the 11th to the 15th, 11th to the 17th. We're having a week of campaigning in all our areas, where we're going to organize street corner meetings and demonstrations in support of the struggle. And on the 31st of October, we plan a big procession in Calcutta, where we are campaigning on the issue of employment. So we have a kind of a review of the Employment Guarantee Act, which is guaranteeing employment to people, and we're going to raise the issue of taking away of employment also at the same time. So what the government is doing for employment and the failure on that front, and along with that, the fact that they're taking away employment also. So this is our immediate plan, and we plan to support the struggle and to be part of it throughout. As far as IUF is concerned, we expect and we hope and we request IUF to internationalize the issue and to bring in international pressure on the West Bengal government. We've seen that they're not so sensitive to pressure within the state because they've been in power for so long. So they tend to ignore all democratic institutions within the state. So the only way to actually change any kind of policy that they have is to bring pressure in from outside. And that is why we think it's very important for IUF and its affiliates to actually start pressurizing the government right now through just sending messages. And in future, if we think of other actions, we would like them to support us on this.